What's the deal, ladies and mothers? Welcome back to the channel, Hand or Refinery Worker. Hey, yo, it's your girl Shaq. I'm here on YouTube. You already know what it is. Look, I wanted to get like a different vibe, different scene. So here I am in the crane doing my thing. Got loads of downtime. Figured I'd put something on paper. So today is gonna be kind of simple, not too informative, not too story time, just talking about what is and what the craft and the industry has came from my perspective and where it's going. It's just informative, I guess, a little bit. So I've been in this industry since 2011, and I've watched I've watched the change, and a lot of it is for the good and some of it's not. Safety wise, I remember when I was building, and I was a scaffold builder, and tools did not have to be tethered. There was no requirement for tethered tools. So, with that being said, I remember being about 200, well, no, about 100, let's call it 130, 40 foot off the ground. And we were at the top of a structure, and we were demoing a hangar. And there's no two tethers. We were demoing a hangar, and my clients slipped out of my tool bag, out of my tool belt. Just so happened to fall to the ground right after a group of operations for the plant had just walked by. Literally just walked by, because when they fell and they slid under a little pipe rack that was on the ground, the operators turned around looking for what the noise was. That could have been really bad, and it would have been on me. So with with that, I'm seeing the good in the change in the industry itself. Safety has definitely been upgraded and is implemented because of blood, because someone got hurt, because something exploded, because something happened. So the changes that are being made are because of something, I guess you could call it catastrophic. Harnesses, from when I started, was non-negotiable, and it was mandatory. I had a supervisor that he remembered when harnesses were optional, when it wasn't mandatory, and when it wasn't a full body harness, it was just a belt. So that's why you get some of the older guys saying, I got to put on a belt. It's not their tool belt. They're not referring to a tool belt. They're referring to their harness, because that's what it was, or that's what it was called when they first started, was a belt. And it was literally a belt that went around your waist and you were tethered to whatever. And it was one. The industry has changed to where being 100% tied off means two hooks, whether it's the little hooks or the pelican hooks, the big ones. Typically, the pelican hooks are used for scaffold builders because they are either demoing or erecting a scaffold, and they need to move about a little bit faster, a little bit more, like let the reins go a little bit for them, because there's intricate things they have to do to getting the scaffold built up. Everybody else, riggers, uh, iron workers, boilermakers, we everybody else pretty much got the little tiny hooks. But as far as where the industry is going, personnel wise, it's not getting better, and it's an ongoing rap. If you follow me on TikTok, It's an ongoing rant of mine. It's an ongoing mind fuck of mine that is, it's frustrating because I remember when the craft, crane and rigging, was the goats. It seems like now we're just the peasants, and it's sad. But the industry as a whole is just, it's changed. These young kids want a paycheck without having to put in the work, and that's sad. And then the older people are just being old grumpy fuckers and complaining about everything, knowing good and damn well they were brought up in a time that they shouldn't be complaining and acting the way that they're acting. But what can we do? It is what it is. People are going to be people. You got to meet them where they're at. The only thing you can control is yourself. So even with all my gripes and venting and all the bullshit I've seen, I'm going to continue to bring it up and voice what's going on in my mind to help me relieve the stress of what I'm thinking of and what I'm seeing in this industry. But it's simply that. It's just venting. I'm actively trying to help those that I see have potential and just letting the BS just float around the pool, if you will. The guys that I see have a chance and just need a little bit of tuning, guidance, I'm trying to help them. But it's very little of them and a bunch of the little turds floating. It's sad, but what can you do? There's nothing that we can do. But I'm constantly bringing this message out to bring awareness to this issue that people might not think is an issue, which it is. It is absolutely an issue. Laziness, stupidity, it's all a problem. It needs to be rectified. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be tended to. And here lately, it's just not. And then when you try to, you're the villain. Well, give me the villain title all day long. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money safely and to get a job done. Because the more work I do, the harder I work for myself, not for no company. It makes me feel better. On the flip side of that coin, when you do work and you do it well and you do it hard, pause, there's absolutely no reason for them not to call you back or not to give you the good jobs or not to work you or not to let you grow, to keep you down if you want to grow. There's room for growth. It's just a matter of how bad you want it. Ladies and Melissa, I always want the growth to a certain extent. Just give me a crane and give me a certain crane. But drop it down in the comments if you've run into just the kind of the low in your crew on the job site or wherever, and let me know how you handle it. Because for me in the crane, I ignore it as much as I can, as long as it's not under my hook. But with that being said, too, hey, drop me a like, hit the bell notification so you know when I'm posting stuff. And again, I'm always gonna say, let's keep this blue collar community going and growing, and trying to teach one another and just bring awareness to people that don't know what construction is. Ladies and mothers, being hand out of pinky, you know we don't fuck with that. Put God first. Be safe. I'm out.